Hello, and welcome to Lights, Camera, Aggro, the podcast with two friends, one film and very little agreement. I'm Phil, and you're a sad, strange little man.
And I'm Nicky, and I too can fall with style. This week it's Phil's turn to share a movie he loves, and today he's bought the 1995 film Toy Story.
But all that will come soon enough. But how's your week been?
It's been busy, but a bit, dull, because as we talked about last week, my book has come out, so now I am doing lots of online sharing of information, sending links, putting out little videos, making pleas to buy my book and, urging the general public.
Wait, hang on, where's your book available?
So all good online bookshops.
Just checking.
But it is like, I hate this part. I love the writing bit, and that's like hardly any of the time.
You hate promotion.
But I hate promotion because it's so cringe. And I love it when people say, oh, I bought your book or I've ordered your book. I love that because obviously it's great. But to sort of try and make people do that always feels the height of embarrassment. So, yeah. But
it's always
it has
nice.
To be done.
It's always nice to be appreciated for your work, isn't it? Like, and obviously I'll equate this to when I did a YouTube video and somebody come up to me and went, oh my God, watch your video, it's really good, stuff like that. Someone gets your book and sees you in person and goes, oh my God, your book's really good.
Yeah.
If it's a nice feeling, isn't it?
That's really nice, but it does feel cringe to have to try and make people know that it exists.
Yeah.
And that's the necessary evil of promoting. You have to do that with anything, I guess, don't you? But yeah, so the point is, that's all I'm doing at the moment.
Well, I would like to say, I think you're pretty good at it.
Oh.
I watch your online content and stuff, and obviously you always like it and comment and stuff. Commented on the book opening.
Oh yeah,
the box,
the video. Well, yeah, last week after we'd recorded All the President's Men, the delivery company had delivered a box of my books, so I filmed myself opening them like you do. But you were in the background talking about whatever nonsense you were talking about at the time, so I did mute you on the video.
Thought that would happen.
Before we start, give us a like and subscribe. And remember, this is going to be full of spoilers. If you haven't seen Toy Story, now's the time to pause the pod and come back when you're done. We'll be waiting. So, Phil, why did you choose Toy Story?
I just think this is a fun little film. This film changed animated films, period. It was the first computer graphic animated film, and I still think it is one of the best out there, personally.
One of the best films or one of the best animated films?
I'd have this in my top 20 films.
Of all time?
Yeah, I think this is a great little movie. It's fun. It's aged. When you look at modern animated films, like you say, this is 30 years?
95?
Yeah.
31.
So it has aged a little bit. Technology's got better. But I think, obviously, the cast is strong, the story's good, humour hits where it's supposed to hit. And, I'll admit, first time I watched this, I wasn't that impressed. And then, obviously, later years, I had children and watched it with children, and I realised after multiple watchings, Dad, can we watch Toy Story? Dad, can we watch Toy Story? And I was like, I actually really enjoyed this film.
I'm intrigued about the first time you watched it, which was before you had kids.
Yeah.
Because I was 17 in 1995. You'd have been, 20 or something?
Yeah.
So did you watch it as a 20-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason being is, as you know me, I'm a bit of a geek.
Yes.
Obviously film buff.
Well.
Yeah. The fact that it was the first fully computer animated movie, it just piqued my interest. I want to see what this looks like. So I'm going from like cartoon styles, which were hand-drawn, like Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella, Lion King and stuff, to go into to CGI. And, obviously I think this was like Pixar's first big movie as well. I was just interested.
So from my perspective, like I said, I was 17. I'd never seen it till this week. And I never felt like I wanted to. I heard many people over the years, many people have told me it's a great film. And I accept that it probably is, but it just never appealed to me, certainly not when I was 17.
Yeah.
And I know, I also remember, like, specifically when Toy Story 3 came out, everyone was like, oh, I thought I liked Toy Story, but oh my God, this is the best. So no, don't even tell me that we're going to do 2 and 3.
No. I always want to say is, like, because of having kids, right, I've gone through the years of Toy Story, and I did actually have tears in Toy Story 3.
I've heard it's about Toy Story 3.
It's great. obviously there's a fourth Toy Story now. There's a fifth coming out in a few weeks, and that's not why we're recording this. This has been planned months ago.
Yeah.
But the Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, it's like the perfect trilogy. Okay. People talk about The Godfather, people talk about Star Wars. This is in that bracket of a perfect trilogy.
So, yeah, I'd never bothered watching it, and I have no kids, and I think that's going to come up a few times during the chat. I've got no kids, never wanted kids, I'm happy without kids. So this is a film that if we hadn't have done this podcast, I would never have bothered with. Okay, so that's something just to
Now, you have seen, you're not a total, what's the word?
I don't know what the word is. A total brilliant person, a goddess. What is the word?
Total snob and wouldn't watch kids' films, because I know you've seen Inside Out and love Inside Out.
I'm not. So here's the thing. Some kids' films are just as good, if not better, when you're an adult. And I think lots of people think this is one of them. And I'm not sure. And we'll talk about that at the end, because I have lots of questions at the end of this rather than conclusions for my own thoughts. But I have questions. But I agree, Inside Out is possibly, if we class that as a kids' film, I think that's the greatest kids' film ever made. And I still think that, even though I've seen Toy Story now. But that's not because of anything to do with the technical side of it, although I'm happy with what they did. It's to do with the plot, the script, the writing, the concept.
If you interject here, I know that when we're talking about this, you're looking at the content as a story, the actors and stuff, rather than the technicality of how it was done and things like that.
My worry for this pod, and I've written this here, my worry is that you are going to be going on and on and on and on about how great all this technical stuff is, which is fine.
No, not at all.
Okay,
not
but
at all.
that's fine. But that's how you access it. Whereas none of that makes any difference to me. I don't mind if it's like stick drawings. I don't mind if it's, is it claymation like Wallace and Gromit? I don't mind if it's whatever. For me, a story is about the script. And once it's beyond the script, it's about the actors and it's about the direction and it's about, the music even. Then I think it's about the actual technical stuff of it. That's the order of my thing. So I think you're going to prioritise different things than I am.
No, I'm here for story and humour and...
But I think what makes this like in your top 20 isn't the story or the humour. It's a good film. Look, it's a great film. I can see it's a great film. But I think the reason you think it's in your top 20 is because it's the first animated whatever thing ever, innovative, broke the mold, started new things.
I'm just a fan of the film.
Okay, well, we'll get into
the lines, so many times you see memes on Instagram, and these coming and loads of people just fall to the floor as if the toys. And
I've never seen those memes.
Because you don't have a good
But no, this is the point. Because I was surprised by a couple of things before I started to watch it. First of all, when I looked it up, it was a PG, and I was like, what? I would have been convinced it was a U. Just would never have thought it was a PG, and I couldn't. I don't know. That surprised me.
I think the PG. I would imagine.
I can see now why.
Yeah. Scenes of
torture.
Yeah. Toy torture.
I understand now why it's a PG. But at the time when I was looking up, I was like, "What? Not a U." Because I thought I knew the basics. I thought that no one needed to tell me anything about Toy Story. It's about toys that come to life. It's about Woody and it's about Buzz Lightyear. I've heard, this is what I knew. I've heard like Tom Hanks be interviewed by Graham Norton going on about, he'll just do the voice in front of a kid and the kid will be like made up. I've seen all this. But it was only as I actually started to watch it that I realised I had no clue what the plot was. I had no clue. I knew it was about toys and they come to life, but I did not have a clue about any of it. So, a bit like how, when we watched Star Wars and I'd never seen that, I knew loads of it already. Or I knew the memes. And I knew the
memes, you knew sayings.
I don't see Toy Story memes. It just doesn't cross my life, my timelines.
I see them loads.
Because you linger on them. The algorithm knows if you your Toy Story
I regularly say, there's a snake in my boot,
I don't know what that means. Is that in the film?
That's where they pull string on the back of Woody.
Oh, okay.
And then, Buzz Lightyear is just a meme of himself. So we'll get into that.
Okay.
So let's get started.
Okay.
So the film starts off with Andy playing with his toys, his favourite toys. And you can quickly see that Woody is the hero character.
Top dog.
Yeah. He's playing and then the song comes on, You've Got a Friend in Me.
Randy Newman is a genius.
Yeah.
His music's elevated this film all over the place.
The soundtrack to this is great.
Yeah.
All the bits of music throughout here. We see Andy playing with Woody, and Woody's like looks almost happy, you know, although he's not moving his face, but you could just see by the way the camera shots were coming, looked like he was smiling, and he's living the best life. He pulls his pull string, which I'm going to reference now, if we just have, and he has a couple of sayings, somebody's poisoned the water hole, and then there's another one, as I just said, there's a snake in my boot. Okay. But it shows that he's an older toy.
As in he's been in the house for a longer time.
Yeah, he is.
He's not new and modern.
Well, when you get to Toy Story 2 at some point, he's a collector's item. Okay. So that's another thing.
It did make me laugh, this opening bit with his drawstring or whatever you call it, because when I was about 3 or 4, I had a Mr. Man pillow, right? I think it was Mr. Bump, but it had a drawstring thing. Is that what it's called? Pull string.
Yeah, pull string, yeah.
And as you pulled it, this old man's voice, in a really low, growly voice, said, bear in mind, it's your pillow at night, "You're a nice little girl." Swear to God.
That's funny. I know a little bit of a fact here about this, right, in terms of the pull string. You know all the Woody dolls that was sold?
Okay, the merch.
It's not Tom Hanks's voice, it's his brother's.
I did read this
I think this is on Graham Norton. I think this is on Graham Norton.
It's IMDb trivia as well.
Yeah. So in this little play scene, Woody's the hero, he's the sheriff coming in, saving them, and
little Bo Peep wants him.
Yeah.
She's well flirty.
And Mr. Potato Head's the bad guy, and Ham, which is the pig, just really good. Randy leaves the room, and they all come alive, you know, as if they've all got their own little personalities.
Yeah.
And the meeting is about moving, and
the moving house,
and have you got a moving buddy? And Rex, who's the little paranoid dinosaur, he's like, I didn't know I was supposed to have a buddy. And then Woody lets it slip that Andy's party's today.
So all of this introduction, I did really enjoy this scene. It's fun, and I can imagine kids would like it too. But it's fun, and it reminded me of Shrek as well. You know how all the different fairy tale characters have their own kind of personalities.
Well, I did write down Mr. Potato Head, who's just a bit of a narcissist. He's just a narcissist, isn't he?
Mrs. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head.
Yeah. Ham, who's the pig, the money box.
Yeah.
Slinky, the spring dog.
Yes.
Bo Peep, flirty.
Love her, Annie Potts.
Yeah.
Love her.
Rex the dinosaur who's just paranoid. And Bo Peep and Woody have a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Get someone to watch the flock tonight.
Yeah. So Woody mentions Andy's parties today, and all the toys panic.
Yes.
And they're basically panicking because they think they're going to get replaced.
Yes.
But the one person who doesn't think he's going to get replaced is Woody.
Yeah. And he's definitely the leader, and he's got like prime spot on the bed, and they all look up to him and speak to him as he's the leader of the
He
gang.
sits on Andy's bed and sleeps with Andy. So he is the top dog.
Top dog.
Yeah. So Woody mentions the party, and all the toys start panicking because on their minds they think potential toys could replace them.
Mm-hmm. Which is a good premise for the kind of... Because, again, at this point, I didn't know where this was going. What's the plot? What's happening? Where's the action? I didn't really know what this was going to be about.
Right.
So I kind of like that. Okay, there's some jeopardy and, you know.
So the guests start arriving, and they're all looking through the little binoculars, looking at the boxes, and they're going, that's not too big. And it turns out it's big, long box, and they're all panicking. So they decide to get the soldiers out.
I really liked all the stuff with the soldiers.
So the soldiers take a baby intercom down and sneak downstairs. And as they're sneaking downstairs, Mum steps on one of them.
Hurt in action.
Yeah. But like you would when did you have soldiers around the house like this?
No.
All right.
We had stickle bricks.
All right. Okay. So had little soldiers, and you stand on them. Once you stood on them, they were done. You know, they bend out of shape and stuff. And it's like, just go without me. It's like, we don't leave anyone behind.
All this was very amusing.
Yeah,
I did enjoy it.
The soldiers start communicating up, and none of the presents are really sort of dangerous towards what they've got, you know. Nobody's being replaced, and Woody's like, see, told you everything would be fine. And wait, there's one mystery present. And they're like, what is it? What is it? What is it? And before they know, Andy's upstairs and he's brought a new toy and put it on the bed. He's pushed Woody off the bed and this new toy's there. So what do you think so far?
There's nothing to not like. My reservations, which we'll come to at the end, aren't really to do with what the film is. The film is great.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud at quite a few of the bits of banter that the characters have between each other. You know, the what are you looking at, you hockey puck?
Yeah.
Amused me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it all. I liked flirty little Bo Peep. I was enjoying listening to seeing whose voices I recognised, because the only people I definitely knew were in it beforehand were Tom Hanks and Tim Allen.
Yeah.
So I recognised their voices, but I knew
it's a stellar cast.
But like I recognised, oh God, Cliff from Cheers, John Ratzenberger. Recognised him. His voice just is iconic.
Well, you do know he's in every single
I
Pixar movie.
I've read IMDb trivia, Phil. I can't tell you again.
You've read it because of this film.
Yeah. No, I know that anyway. But his voice is so obviously him. Whereas the other voices, I took a minute to place. And things like, is it Don Rickles? I've seen him before on things years ago. He's died now. And Annie Potts obviously was brilliant.
Yeah.
And it took me a minute to place her once I realised. I was like, oh yeah, of course. But yeah, bunch of voices. So yeah, it's all good. I'm not going to slag this film off, but I am going to have reservations that I will share later.
Right, we'll carry on.
Okay.
So Woody climbs up onto the bed and he sees Buzz Lightyear standing there for the first time.
An absolute alpha. The toxic masculinity in this film.
And Buzz thinks he's a real space ranger.
Yeah.
He thinks his spaceship is broken. He's crash landed on the bed. It's a strange surface, and he's like kind of like bouncing up. And he says, "There seems to be no signs of intelligent life here." And then you see Woody, sorry, hello. So they instantly clash.
Yeah.
Because Woody's like, "This is my sport" and stuff. And
I really enjoyed, and I'm not sure which of the other toys said it, that Woody has laser envy.
Yeah. You got to blink. It's a blinking light. It's not laser. And he goes, "You're not that special." And then next thing he presses the button and his wings come out.
Yes.
And he goes, "You can't fly." And he stands on the edge of the bed and jumps off, bounces on a ball, lands on a car, goes round the car track, ends up on the fan on the top, and falls on the bed and goes there. And he goes, "That's not flying, that's falling with style."
Absolutely.
And I love that. That's a line.
I know, you said at the beginning. I too fall with style.
Yeah, I know, but that's a meme.
Okay, I don't know that. So then there's the montage of Buzz being popular.
Yeah,
and
all
Woody
the other
becoming
toys,
more and more annoyed.
All the other toys are superly impressed by Buzz.
Yeah.
And it's just the way he is and stuff. And Buzz is trying to fix a spaceship, which is a cardboard box. And Woody opens his helmet and he thinks he's going to suffocate. Tim Allen is brilliant in this. Tim Allen's brilliant.
And I know Tim Allen because of Home Improvement, and that used to be on when I was a teenager, high school. And then that would have been around the time that this was made, I guess. Yeah. High school for me.
I think it was just after Home Improvement, I think.
Yeah, but like that was when I know who he was because of his hit comedy show that was on telly. Yeah. But since then, I've not seen, and it's not because he's not done anything, it's because I've not seen it. I've not seen Tim Allen in anything, and obviously he's done these films. But I've not seen him on TV in ages.
Yeah, I haven't. I only know him from Toy Story now.
Okay.
So the next thing we hear noises from outside, and it's Sid.
The shittiest kid I ever did see.
Yeah. He's basically, he's the villain of the piece.
Yes.
Really. Although it painted as if Buzz is the villain to begin with, because he's sort of trading on Woody's place, but the real villain is Sid, who basically destroys toys.
So at the beginning, when we had the opening scene with all the different toys sort of chatting, you got the sense of Andy playing with them, but you didn't see Andy. You saw his arm or his hand or something, and he was like, and I wrote in my notes, literally, because I'd never seen it before, I didn't know anything about it, I'd never seen it before. I wrote in my notes, this kid, is he supposed to be shitty? ? Because he seemed to be quite rough and quite, it was just a sort of presence in the room that was controlling everything and everybody and moving toys, and the toys were left where he left them, and he was kind of a bit untidy. And it was only when we saw Sid that I thought, oh no, Andy's not a shitty kid. He's just a kid.
It's just a kid.
He's just a kid who's just a bit like, loud and boisterous. Yeah. That's fine. it made me realise, that's not the impression we were supposed to have of Andy, and I've just been reading into it. This is a shitty kid. This is a psycho.
Yeah. So he straps a firework to the back of a combat car. Did you pick it up? It was a combat car?
I did not.
Right.
Never heard of that.
Basically sets it off and combat car blows up. You don't see him blow, but you see bits of him, his boots and that fly up, and all the other toys are horrified looking out the window.
Psycho behaviour. Like, genuinely. When you are... children are cruel to animals as a young child, that's kind of one of those signs that they may have some issues later on with humans. And it felt like this kid is going to be a murderer when he's older because he's torturing his toys. He's not just like I don't know, it felt like the most villainous child I've ever seen on a film, for a kid's film,
But it made me laugh that Buzz was going to go out and help. I want to help him. I'll get out there and like, stop it, man.
The arrogance of Buzz is breathtaking.
Yeah. So Andy's back up in his room and he's playing with the toys, and his mum comes up and says, right, I'm going to take you to Pizza Planet, but you can only take one toy.
Yes.
And Woody gets the green-eyed monster going. He's jealous straight away because he knows he's going to pick Buzz. So he comes up with a plan to let Buzz fall down the back of a chest of drawers so he can get picked. So he hatches a plan where he gets RV, which is a little remote control car, to run Buzz over, and he will fall down the back of the cabinet. But Buzz moves out the way. A chain of events happen where a ball rolls and he moves out the way, and a lamp spins and pushes him out the window and he falls down.
Yes.
RV then grasps Woody up to the rest of the toys. The toys are fuming, Mr. Potato Head in particular. And then Andy comes in, can't find Buzz, so he takes Woody.
Second choice.
Yeah, second choice. So Buzz jumps onto the back of the car. The toys then start to lower little plastic monkeys to try and get Buzz because they still think he's in the bush below the window.
Yeah.
So Andy's mum stops to get pets on the way to Pizza Planet. And as they both leave the car, Buzz jumps in through the sunroof. Mm-hmm. Woody's the most relieved he could ever be because he's like, oh my God, it's good, this is good. Because he thinks all the other toys will never forgive him for this.
Yes. Yeah.
But Buzz wants revenge and starts fighting with Woody, and they both fall out the car.
Yes, and get left behind.
And they get left behind. And Woody starts panicking, I'm a lost toy.
But Buzz really thinks he's a space
He still thinks he's a space ranger. Buzz that says to Woody, you're a sad, strange little man. And he goes, you're just a toy.
Yeah. But I do think that's a really nice little take on, like some blokes think they're fucking everything, It's just that arrogance, it's that alpha kind of that. Ultimately covering up insecurity, as we see later on, as we see in real life all the time with men who posture and kind of think they're better than everything. But I enjoyed the character of Buzz, how he sort of convinced himself of all this nonsense.
So they spot a Pizza Planet truck and they hatch a plan to get in the truck because that'll take them to where Andy is. And Woody goes, let's jump in the back. And he goes, no, I'm not jumping in the back. Let's sit in here, and puts a seatbelt on. The next thing, Woody's getting hit with empty cans and wrappers and all sorts, and Buzz is just in the comfort of the cabin, as he called it. So we get to Pizza Planet. Buzz thinks this is the best place ever because it looks like a spaceport.
Yes.
And he thinks he's part of this.
This is where there's all the arcades and things.
Yes, the arcades.
Okay.
And they use an empty cup and an empty burger box to sneak past people, and as they spot Andy and they're going to jump on the bottom of the pram of Andy's little sister, Buzz spots a claw machine.
Yeah, I call it a grabber machine, but
It's a claw machine.
Is it?
Yeah. Because they go, the claw. So he gets inside and there's loads of little space aliens.
Yeah.
And they're the thing as well. You've got to have seen them, haven't you?
No, why would I have seen them?
Oh my God, you've never lived.
I think you've seen all these toys because these are Toy Story merch toys.
Don't we just see them everywhere? These little space characters are a thing.
Where are they a thing?
Oh, you see them everywhere. Stickers, you see them.
Why would I have space alien stickers? Why would I see... Do you see what I mean? You are seeing this through the lens of someone with kids. I don't have kids, and I've not had to think about having to think about kids since I was a year one teacher.
But you go to shops like Tesco or Asda and
for
places
food.
Yeah, but you see these things at the end of tills and things.
They may well be there,
so
but
you just don't pick up on it.
You don't tune into things that you're not interested in. So I
tune into everything.
I'm not tuning into alien stickers, whatever it is you're telling me. But this is the point. It's fascinating. I've got a whole hypothesis about kids' films that, you know, I don't have a clue about it. I don't mean it.
That's a good job. I'm educating you in this.
I understand that toys exist. I recognise the archetypes of the toys. I recognise the stereotypes of the characters, which are funny. Like, you know, little flirty Miss Bo Peep and, you know, like the kind of Mr. Taserhead. Oh, yeah. All that's very funny and human nature and brilliant. But I don't... You're telling me things like, oh, you must have seen this meme. And I'm like, no, why would I have? I haven't.
You've never lived.
Lols.
So Buzz decides to jump inside the claw machine.
Yes.
And all these little space aliens are all mesmerised by him. And next thing, a kid comes over and starts using the claw machine. And he eventually gets one of the little aliens and he spots Buzz inside. Woody is trying to get Buzz out. So this kid tries to get Buzz and he grabs him, but Woody's pulling him and he ends up winning both Buzz and Woody. And we realise it's Sid.
It is Sid.
Yeah.
Evil Sid.
Evil Sid.
Awful Sid.
The most evilest character in your history.
I think so. Yeah, he's terrible. I think he's a really dark character. And this is where, when we see Sid and what's coming up, that's the PG-ness of it all.
Yeah.
Because it's dark.
Yeah.
It's dark.
So Sid takes them home and Sid asks his mum. You don't see his mum, you just hear her voice. He's been waiting for a package. It's basically a big firework. His sister comes in. His sister's Hannah, his little sister, and she's playing with a doll. He grabs a doll off her, takes it into his room, says he's going to perform surgery on it, and takes the head off a dinosaur. I think it's a pterodactyl.
It's like a snuff film.
Yeah.
It's full on.
And sellotapes it on top of the lovely little doll.
But it's like in his room, it's like it just put the doll's head in a vice or something. It's horrible.
Yeah. You know, it's just not nice. The Hannah screams and runs away. And then Sid goes down to make sure his mum doesn't tell him off, going, she's lying. So they're left in the room by themselves.
But it is like a horror film, this bit, I think. I know it's like obviously PG friendly, so it's like, but in terms of the tone of it, it's really grim.
Sid then comes back up and he decides he wants to start doing something with the toys, and he gets a magnifying glass to Woody and he starts trying to burn Woody with the magnifying glass.
Torture.
And he gets shouted and he goes back downstairs and he leaves the door open. So Woody wants to make a run for it. And both him and Buzz run out the door. And next thing, they spot the dog.
Yeah.
He thinks he's going to creep past the dog. And as he's walking on the stairs, his pull string catches and makes the sound, there's a snake in my boot. The dog wakes up, so they go, quick hide, quick hide. Woody ends up in like a bit of a closet.
Okay.
Yeah. And Buzz ends up in a room and he sees an advert. And it's an advert for a Space Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
On the television.
Heart is ripped out because he realises he's just a toy.
Yeah,
it's not a real action figure. It's just an action figure and stuff. So he decides to show that he's not by flying. He gets on the banister, jumps off the banister, and just falls. And his arm falls off.
Yes.
So still liking it?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you are going into so much detail. My notes that I kind of made to just sort of go through the plot are nowhere near as detailed as this, so I'm not entirely sure I know where we're up to when you say bits I remember, but like because not much has actually happened this film has a very simple plot. It's some toys, a new toy comes, they kind of get separated from the rest of the toys and they have to get back.
Toys delusional.
And there's peril with the nasty neighbour. So it's a really simple story, but obviously it's sort of not complicated, but it's made more interesting by the fact that you've got all this sort of different action, set pieces and dogs come in and funny bits. But I mean, I'm following it. I'm following it more than I follow Star Wars.
So Hannah, Sid's sister, finds Buzz on the stairs.
Yes.
And takes him up to have a little tea party. When he comes out of the closet and sees that Buzz is at the tea party and pretends to be Hannah's mum, shouts, Hannah! And she runs downstairs and he goes to get Buzz. So
you completely glossed over the one scene that is the most interesting in the whole film.
Go on.
Would you like more tea, Mrs. Nesbitt?
Oh, no, we're getting up to that.
Really?
I'm Mrs. Nesbitt. Buzz is drunk.
So
and depressed.
I love that scene, and it says so much. So first of all, it's very funny.
Yep.
Because obviously Buzz, this big alpha who just, thinks he's
one-armed Buzz.
a one-armed Buzz, okay. But the big alpha guy who's turned up thinking he's everything and, he can fly and blah, blah, blah. First of all, he's reduced to nothing. Not nothing, but he's injured and he's been taken to a different world and he's dressed up with a hat on.
Yeah.
So all that's very amusing. And yes, he seems delirious. He's just lost it. He can't even begin. But I was really fascinated by this. And I feel like, would this be the way it is now in 2026? So obviously very comedic that it's a girl's tea party, Mrs. Nesbitt. Character Mrs. Nesbitt. I love that.
Mrs. Nesbitt. I just love that.
I love it. But also, it makes it seem like being a girl and wanting to do a tea party is shit. It makes it seem like this is crap. And you are making that, you're making the joke of that to your audience of girls and boys who'll be watching it. And I have a real problem. It's like that whole kind of, just the line, run like a girl or cry like a girl. When actually, girls hear that and they are girls and they are people, and why should 50% of the population have to put up with being sort of being implied that what they experience is shiter than what boys experience? So I had a really interesting response to this scene, which is, first of all, it's very funny.
Yeah, it's really funny.
And entertaining and amusing and, blah, blah, blah. And also it's the kind of the culture shift of what Buzz is used to compared to what he's been reduced to. But also, how do you feel if you're a girl watching this film when you're little and it's like, oh yeah, here's a shit thing to happen to this toy? I
don't think it's portrayed in that way where this is a crap thing that's happened to the toy. I just think it's funny because he's just completely switched from, like you say, being the alpha to this.
I understand the juxtaposition of the two experiences, but I think that's it.
I don't think it's a bad thing that's a tea party. I just think it's a bad thing for Buzz, not us.
I would prefer it if they didn't have it was his little sister, but it was his little brother.
Right, I'll ring up
because there's a real sexism there. I'm just it's the director in it and the writers. But yeah, I don't know. It really made me. That was a very funny scene, but also, would this play now? Don't know.
Maybe we'll see in Toy Story 5 when it comes out.
I'm probably not gonna.
So Woody realizes that the window's open, and the window's directly across from Andy's room.
Yeah, that's right.
So he shouts the toys, and then he's got a little lasso of light, and he throws it across, and then the toys start going, hang on, you pushed Buzz out the window. How do we know that you won't do that to us?
They're excited to see him at first because son of a building block, it's Woody.
It's Woody, yeah. But he's in Sid's room.
Can they trust him?
Yeah. But then they start questioning because they go, what if I become Andy's favourite toy? You push me out the window and stuff. And he goes, look, I'm with Buzz now. We're good friends. And Buzz has just sat there, like, depressed to anything, isn't he, that he's not a space ranger. And this one always makes me laugh. Buzz, come give me a hand, and he just throws his hand up there. And it's stupid. It's a stupid sight gag, but every time. So they end up letting the lights go, and they're stuck there. Next thing, Sid's back. His package has arrived. But it starts to rain, so he can't do nothing. So he straps it to Buzz's back. But when it goes dark, his other toys come out.
Yeah, very sinister the way they all creep together at first.
Yeah. And there's like a doll's head that's been shaved, attached to a Meccano set that looks like a spider. The aforementioned doll with the pterodactyl's head on, that's got its own head sellotape back on now. But they all look bizarre, and then they all go round. They all go round Buzz, and Woody tries to protect Buzz because he thinks something bad's happened. And then when he pushed them all away, they fixed his arm. Yeah, they're not bad toys, really.
Yeah, they're nice toys. But the eeriness and the unsettling nature of their appearance it's very stark.
So they decide to try and escape again, but it becomes morning. Basically, Sid's going to take Buzz out and blow him up. So he takes him outside. So Woody hatches a plan with the other toys, and he said, look, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to break a few rules. And they decide to go outside. They get the dog out the way, and they let Sid know that they're alive. He says, play nice. And then they run off. And as this is happening, Andy's moving away. The mum's trying to help him find his toys. There's Woody and there's Buzz, but he can't find them. Okay so far?
Yeah, so...
Anything to add?
Well, are we up to the bit where Buzz says, why would Andy want me? When he's had that realisation that he's a toy?
Yeah.
Okay, we've done that.
And he goes, "You're super cool. You're the best toy around. You've got a blinking light. You've got wings. You've got this."
At this point, they've cut so they are but completely as one now, as friends, working together to try and get back. So Woody has that moment of self-awareness as well, that he's not as cool compared to Buzz. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Why would Andy ever want to play with me when he's got you? Okay.
Yeah. So Andy and his mum drive off in the car. I'm just going to say something now while I do this. You never see Andy's dad.
Does he get mentioned?
No.
Okay.
So we don't know whether
Fair play.
Andy's his mum's a single mum or the dad's, just working all the time. Even when they're moving, dad's not mentioned.
Maybe single mum.
Yeah.
Fair play.
So they try to chase the car down and they miss the car, but they catch up to the van. On the van, there's a little bit of material hanging and they get on there. But as they're going on there, the dog from Sid spots them and he grabs Woody and Buzz sacrifices himself to save Woody.
Well, the one just before that, Woody says, "Take care of Andy for me." Which I
Take care of Andy for me.
Which I think that was the only sort of moving bit. I found oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I found that quite moving.
But Buzz overrides that by jumping and
he takes it.
Didn't he pull the dog's eyelids off? and he falls under a car and the dog can't get him. But Woody's going away in the van. So he gets the van open and finds the toy box and he sees the other toys and they're all made up to see him, and then they realise you push Buzz. He gets Harvey out of the car.
Yeah.
Jumps Harvey out and they go, "Look, they're doing it to him now." They think he's being bad to the other toys, but he's not. He's trying to save Buzz. He sends Harvey under the car and Buzz jumps on the back and starts driving him up. The other toys throw Woody out the van and he gets hit by Harvey and Buzz. And then the toys see that it's them together and all feel guilty.
Yeah, great, now I have guilt.
Yeah, and Rex is like, "Great, now I've got guilt."
That did amuse me too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Harvey runs out of batteries. Mm-hmm. They hatch a plan. They use Buzz's helmet, which is clear plastic, to light the rocket.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they start to fly up the road. And it always makes me laugh when you see Woody's face and it's all stretching and, it's got air in it and stuff. Woody starts to panic then because he's like, "We just lit a rocket explode." And Buzz says, "Not today." And he drops RV into the back of the moving truck, opens his wings and the rocket goes off. They fly and the rocket explodes. Woody goes, "We're going to miss the truck." He goes, "We're not aiming for the truck." Mm-hmm. Flies along and then drops in through the sunroof. So then cuts to Christmas.
Yeah, snow.
It's Christmas Day, and they're basically panicking again because
the toys are panicking.
Yeah, what presents is Buzz and Buddy. You can tell they're friends now, and Buzz is the one who's panicking in case he gets replaced. And Woody goes to comment, "Don't worry, what could they get that's worse than you?" And next thing you hear, puppy barking. Yeah. The end.
That was a whistle stop. I feel like you've just raced through all of that. But then equally, there's not much to it. The plot is very simple.
But it's a children's film.
I agree. I agree with you.
Film with some adult humour in it.
Yes, I think you're right. I would agree with that.
Yeah, but it's 81 minutes long.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a brief film, very brief film. And obviously, back in the day when they were doing, the CGI animation for the first time, that must have been a daunting task to have to make a movie for about 80 minutes and fill it with CGI.
I mean, no more than, hand-drawn animation or claymation. I mean, they're all massive, huge.
Yeah, they're huge tasks.
I feel like it's a lot easier to do it on the computer.
It is now, but back then the technology wasn't there. They had to write the technology to do it.
I'm just saying it's like,
for every, like you say, claymation, they have to make the models.
Yeah.
Well, in this, they have to make every single model for every single thing in the computer. Claymation, they'll use a table and put the claymation on. This, they have to digitally make the table and make the textures.
But with claymation, they're moving every little tiny tweak, so it takes forever.
They are still doing that in computer animation.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're not going to technical sides.
Oh, aren't we? Okay.
So, what's your thoughts?
So, it's a perfectly good film, and I can see why it was innovative at the time, obviously. I don't care that it's not now. It's still fine, I don't care if it's aged in terms of what's better in terms of technology now. It is a kids' film. And all of the times that people have said, and it's not just you, like I've heard this many times, oh, but Toy Story is good for adults as well. So here's what I think, right? You know, I'm going to make some assumptions now about being a parent, so you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. So you've got kids, and they're little, they're 2, they're 3, they watch telly, they watch cartoons. And those cartoons are shite because they're for 2-year-olds, you know? And you end up watching them on repeat as a parent because the kid wants to watch them over and over and over again and whatever. All that I understand. And then, you know, I'm thinking, I don't know why I'm going to pick on Paw Patrol, but in my head I'm thinking Paw Patrol, okay? Or In the Night Garden, or I don't know. There's a bunch of them, isn't there?
Yeah.
Those sorts of TV shows that are like 5-minute bursts, kids watch on repeat, they watch every day. And then someone decides to make a feature film of them. And as a parent, you've got a kid who really wants to see the Paw Patrol whatever film.
The Paw Patrol movie, and I think that is actually
There
a
is
thing.
a thing,
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to slag off Paw Patrol. It's just I've never seen it. It might be brilliant. But I'm guessing that as a parent, of course you will, if you can and will want to, will take your kid to see the film of their favourite on repeat cartoon. But you literally have no skin in that game. You've seen the characters a million times. You're bored. You sit in the cinema because you have to accompany your child, but you probably have a little zone out and a doze and think about what you're going to offer your tea. That's my guess, right?
Yep.
So Toy Story comes along and it's brilliant. It's not a shite thing. It's funny. It's witty. The script is great. The characters are well thought out. The plot is, you know, vaguely interesting, even for adults. You know, there's some element of jeopardy and all that kind of thing. So, of course, I understand when you're a parent and you've watched a bunch of awful crap, horrendous cartoons elongated into feature films with your children who think they're great and want to watch them over and over again. Of course, when Toy Story comes along, you're going to be like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, but
this is a great film. Hang on, let me finish. This is great. Of course, you're going to think that because it is. But what I would say is, as someone who never watches any kids' TV, really, and I haven't really since I was a kid, and even when I was a kid, I wasn't really into overtly kids' films. You know, I've told you.
You were born watching The Godfather.
No, I was watching The Sound of Music when I was 4. This is the point. I watched that on repeat. So I'm not saying I never watched any kids' TV or kids' films, but I wasn't obsessed with things as much as I was about other stuff. And when I was like 9 and 10, I was watching John Hughes films. Or I wanted to watch John Hughes films, certainly when they were on telly. So
they were sort of aimed at kids as well.
Of course they were. Oh yeah, I'm not saying that's like high drama either. It's like there for a teen audience, and I was wanting to be a teen when I was 10. So I watch this now as a 48-year-old woman, and I can see it's a great film. I can see that everyone has brought their A game. I'm sure that the technical stuff is innovative in 1995. That doesn't bother me so much. But the acting, the direction, the humour, all of that is brilliant. And yeah, I still kind of feel like I don't need to watch it again. It's done. Tick box. Toy Story ticked. It still feels like it's a kid's film. Now, if I had watched this with, I've got nieces and nephews who are quite young. If I'd have watched this with, when I'm babysitting, put that on, and I'd watched my niece, for example, laugh her head off at all the funny bits, then if I saw this on TV again, I would have such warm memories of that experience. Because this is how, I'll give you the example of Moana. I watched that while I was babysitting my niece and nephew. So if Moana was on now, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's that funny song that my nephew loved. And oh, that's the bit my niece liked. And it would bring back all those memories, and I would maybe enjoy watching that. But because I watched this on my own for this pod, I don't have the glowing childhood laughter memories. So I'm probably done with Toy Story after this.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting because I was sat with my 2 daughters the other day. One's 21, one's 17.
Yeah.
And they were like, Dad, we've got to go and see Toy Story 5.
Okay.
We have to see it.
Yeah.
We have to see it.
Because that's your thing.
But they're not kids. But they're not kids,
but they watched the other ones when they were kids. So, of course, it's all linked to that childhood, happy, glowy family memory you've all got. Of course, that makes sense. That's exactly what you should all do. But if I've never had that particular thing, then watching it cold as a 48-year-old, it's like, I can see it's funny.
I was going to say, one of the things you always say is you like comedy, and I think this is a good comedy movie. I did laugh a lot,
but I laughed a lot at specific lines. Ultimately, I just didn't care if Woody and Buzz got back. I just didn't care. But I did find the humour funny, and I laughed at loads of it.
Right, okay.
It is a good film. I'm not knocking the film. I'm just not. I'm not the audience. Well,
you were this time.
Well, yeah, fair play.
No.
But I don't. So obviously everyone goes on about Toy Story 3. And I even said this last night to someone about how I'd watched Toy Story for the first time. And I was like, yeah, probably don't need to see the others. And she was like, well, you've got to watch 2 because then you've got to watch 3.
2.
So don't bother with 4.
No, 4's good, right? So 2's probably my favourite. I think 3's very, very good. 3's quite emotional because in 3, Andy's grown up.
Okay.
So he passes his toys on to a new person, right? Okay. And there's all the jeopardy of
trying
that.
To hold back the sobs.
Yeah, I'm just like so emotional. Toy Story 4 was about Bo Peep was moved on and stuff.
Okay.
I think Toy Story 5, I haven't watched any trailers for it, but I think it's now technology, things like iPads have come into the kids' lives.
Oh, yeah.
So they're all fearing the technology and stuff. But yeah, I think I love this movie. I really do like this film.
So this is why when I said to you at the beginning, you said top 20 films. And I'm like, of all time or of kids' films? Because I am surprised it's in your top 20. But if it's got happy memories of you and your daughters, then that makes loads more sense.
No, but I also just think it's a very good film. It's very funny. I think the characters are well written. And, if I'm sat in the house by myself and I'm flicking through the channels and Toy Stories, and I'll stop and watch it.
So I would say, that's fair enough, good for you. I would say Inside Out is by far superior. Because I don't mean about the technological side. I don't know about that. Because I think the plot, I like the premise more. I like the premise of a child being controlled by each individual emotion who talks to each other. And, and I love how that is actually really educational, a way to teach kids about their own emotional literacy.
I get where you're coming from with that.
I just think it's clever.
Right. But if there wasn't Toy Story, you wouldn't got to that point.
No, I understand that this started a whole thing. I understand it. I can appreciate this was groundbreaking because when I thought about it, I was surprised it was 1995. I was surprised it was that long ago.
Yeah.
I know it's been around for ages, but I just thought maybe it was this millennium. I don't know. So 1995, I didn't even have an email address. Yeah. I know the internet existed, but it wasn't in my life. I was in lower 6th. I was handwriting essays. I wasn't typing anything up. Do you know what I mean? It was like...
I had the internet.
I'm so pleased for you, but,
Because one of my email addresses has got 95 in it.
Oh, okay.
Still.
But this is the point. I understand that this was groundbreaking because of where we were technologically in the world. So I know it was a big deal. The plot is so basic. It's untrue. It's such a simple plot.
But it had to be because the technology at the time couldn't do too much. One of the things I want to add when you talk about technology and stuff, I was shocked at how simplistic it looked compared to what we have now. It's like when you watch the animation of the mouths or when you look at the things like the tables and the texture of the tables, how much we've moved on since then. Because I always think Toy Story is like how modern animation is. It's like when you go back, you look at Disney stuff and you have the original Disney cartoon, Steamboat Willie.
Oh, yeah.
And then you look at modern Mickey Mouse drawn cartoon and you look at how different they are and how much better they've got. I didn't realise we'd jumped so far from Toy Story 1 to where we are now.
I get the Steamboat Willie. Yeah, we've all come a long way since then, the very, very early Disney stuff with Mickey Mouse. But I didn't have any thoughts like that when I was watching this. I didn't look at... I know you're all about the technical stuff.
But you look at... You just said you've seen Despicable Me. You look how much better Despicable Me looks.
Well, you say that, but in my head, there's no difference. In my head, that's not how I'm accessing those films. I'm not looking out for that. I'm just letting them wash over me. So I'll accept that what you're saying is correct and it makes sense, but it didn't stand out to me at all. I just didn't have an issue with any of it. It's still you have the same themes all the time. The films you bring, it's good versus evil, basically. It's
the only other way to have a film.
The little guys standing up to the big bully. That's what your film tastes are. Whether it's Superman or it's The Karate Kid or it's Star Wars or whatever it is. So this feels like,
this is the CGI version of The Karate Kid, basically.
That story. It was very dark in places.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And
do you know when I picked it? I didn't think about the darkness parts.
I didn't expect it.
And then I should have, I should have prepared you for that. No, I'm glad I didn't.
Let's point out the fact that I I'm okay with that because I'm 48. But I can't imagine, like, again, to invoke my nieces and nephews, my 6-year-old niece she'd just have been like, really not wanted to watch that. She would have not wanted to watch that. And I don't know, my 10-year-old nephew, maybe he would have found it funny. I don't know. It wasn't a young kids thing, all that, and it was quite extended scenes of the torturous bedroom, Sid's bedroom.
It's a bit of peril, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, once they see the toys are all right,
yeah, there's a payoff at the end, but it does take a while.
And then they can watch it like 20 times in a day.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I just felt like for such a dark imagery, it felt like that was quite an extended part of the film.
In Toy Story 3, you do see somebody who works on rubbish.
Oh, I know who that is.
What?
Sid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You read this in notes?
No, my friend last night told me. Yeah. Should you mind if there's spoilers? I was like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see it.
So it's alleged it's Sid because the same T-shirt, that's all. So it doesn't never said it's Sid or whatever, but yeah, he works for the on the bin wagons.
Yeah.
Or the trash wagons, as you would call them over there. But yeah, it's alleged Sid, but it doesn't say it's him.
Okay.
So he doesn't turn into a psychopath killer.
Well, who knows what he does in his spare time. Do you want some other people's thoughts?
Yes, I do.
Right.
I'd be shocked if it's all bad.
Oh, no, it's not. No, to be fair, there's just little pieces I've pulled out from things. What I always do when we've done a film is after I've watched it, I always type into Google the name of the film and then put discourse at the end to see what people are saying about it or have said about it. And Toy Story discourse, like no other film I've done this to, has brought up in over several pages of Google so many academic papers. Loads of people have done dissertations about this. Yeah, no, not about it being loved, about it being analysing the most tiny bits. So I didn't read all of the papers because I have got a life.
Yes.
But I read the abstracts of a couple. One of them was about animacy and anthropomorphism and the toys embodying human traits. There was another one all about Woody's speech patterns and the way he speaks, and I don't know, just look. I guess if you like the film, it's kind of interesting to do your dissertation about it. You're going to want to absorb a load of stuff about it, but they weren't film students, or it was quite a lot of psychology students and things like that had done dissertations on various aspects of the characterization, or a lot of speech and language stuff. Like I say, there's always the odd thing that gets thrown up when you Google films discourse, but so much more with this one. Don't know why.
That's interesting.
There's a blogger called Toy Story Fangirl.
Wow.
It's not you. Who wrote
She should be called Mrs. Nesbitt.
See, that's a good handle. I don't know if people haven't used that more. So she's actually called Heidi Wilhem, and she has a blog, and she was explaining all about the Oscars. So I am a bit of an Oscars fan, and I watch them every year. However, I don't think that means that every film that gets honoured by the Oscars is the best film ever or the best actor or actress. I'm just always fascinated by the decisions they come to. But I do enjoy watching the ceremony every year. But I don't think I was watching it in the late 90s because I was at college and stuff. I just don't think I was. It's more as I've got older. So in 1996, the Oscars created a special award for John Lasseter, the director and guy in charge of the whole thing, because Best Animated Feature didn't exist.
Yeah.
So they created an award for him to recognise that it was an innovative film and it had sort of started a new thing.
But when you think of all come before, things like The Lion King's perfection as well, love that film. Why weren't these getting their own category?
Well, eventually they did, didn't they? But so I just thought it was an interesting thing. I watched the YouTube video, and I'll put a link in the show notes about it, of John Lasseter coming on to accept it, and he does a speech, but he brings on a toy Woody and a toy Buzz Lightyear and just basically plonks them on the podium or whatever, and then he wanders off, and then obviously inserted prearranged film where they are animated and start talking about the Oscars and stuff.
So you're saying he knew he'd won it before he'd won it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I found it interesting that a film that came along that didn't fit into any category and it didn't fit into any category, but they felt they had to award it something. When else has that ever happened? a film that comes along that doesn't fit. Like, it could have been nominated. I don't actually know if it was nominated for Best Picture and just didn't win. But the fact that they kind of made up a category so they could give it something.
And you think, like, it's not the first animated film to go to cinema. And as I say, there's been many great animated films before it that could have gone for it, Watership Down. You know,
All right.
a bit of a weepy one there.
I've never seen it.
But yet, then I didn't know that the animated category only started because of this.
Well, I didn't think it started because of it, because it was a few years after. Yeah. But I think once there were more and more, then.
Yeah, and it is a category that Pixar generally win most years because they bring out the best animated film most years.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? It's about money in it and money to market and promote, you know.
It is. I mean, we have this conversation about the Oscars, and while I do think the films that they nominate are great films, they don't look at some of the summer blockbusters that are equally good films for what they are.
I just think in order for the Academy to notice you, you've had to spend a lot of money on making sure that they do. And not everyone has that money. So you've got the most beautiful little indie films that don't get noticed by the Academy.
But there's also a thing, I can't remember where I read this. Like, the musicians get recognised, you get the special effects people get recognised, you get the directors, the producers. Nobody ever recognises, like, the stunt people who make some of this stuff happen in films.
That'll have been a line from The Fall Guy.
No, I think it is, but I think that's maybe where it was highlighted. But there was a push for stunts to get its own category.
They've only just started having editors, editors, which makes or breaks a film. Yeah. Editing, jeez. So then I was reading a WordPress article, and it's by someone called Tap G.
Okay, sounds like a rapper.
Yeah, who knows? But they write about the film. And I just like this point. So this is a quote. You may have to realise just what was at stake when Toy Story came out. It was the very first completely computer-animated movie ever. Really stop and consider the landscape of animation today. Had this movie not been as successful as it was. Sure, there still might have been computer-animated movies, but even if it got to the level that it is at today, it might have taken much, much longer, and we'd be hearing studios bemoaning, oh, audiences don't want computer cartoons. So it did kind of mean that because this did well, others followed.
Yeah.
And if it hadn't done well, it had just been seen as a random, a good try, but no one's into that.
Like a technical test that never really worked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The other thing that Tap G said, and you probably know all this, and I didn't, because obviously I've never seen it. It's also the movie that introduced this writer to Easter eggs. So here's a list.
I didn't touch upon Easter eggs during it.
Well, I mean, there was loads of ones that I noticed. I just think laser envy. There's loads of Freudian stuff. Laser envy is obviously penis envy. Your hockey puck, that was like a catchphrase of the guy who did the voice. Mm. There's a Mickey Mouse watch hanging as a clock on Andy's wall. So other characters. The carpeting in Sid's house is meant to look like the rug in The Shining.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
When Buzz bids Woody farewell at the gas station, he flashes the live long and prosper sign from Star Trek.
Yeah, he does the two fingers. Yeah.
The books behind Woody's head at the staff meeting are Scooter Run, Tin Toy and Red Stream. They're all previous Pixar shorts.
Yes, they are.
Eggman Movers is a nod to the art director, Ralph Eggleston.
Yeah.
And then this is the last one that I've got here. The Binford toolbox on Woody's crate is a reference to Tim Allen's Home Improvement.
Right.
Because he had that.
But within Pixar movies, in Easter eggs, and they do a lot, they generally have a little hint to their next movie. So in Monsters, Inc., Jessie, who's in Toy Story 2, is in one of the... She's a toy in one of the scenes. There's also, they go into a shack somewhere, and Nemo is on the wall, and, various things. So you've got to look for things, but they are there.
Okay.
Generally, you spot them afterwards, like in Toy Story. Which one was it? In Up. Up is a very good one.
Yeah.
Right. You see the bad guy for Toy Story 3, which is lots of hug and bear. He's just a bear at the end of the bed. So it's just little things like that, and they always do it very well.
Okay. Right. My final other person's thoughts.
Okay.
Is our old favourite.
Roger Ebert.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, why not?
This would be interesting to see this because, I wouldn't put him down as an animated fan.
Okay. Or an animation fan.
Yeah. He was quite animated when he was a fan.
Yeah, I just thought he said a bunch of stuff, but I thought this was an interesting little quote. Seeing Toy Story, I felt some of the same exhilaration I felt during Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Both movies take apart the universe of cinematic visuals and put it back together again, allowing us to see in a new way. Toy Story is not as inventive in its plotting or as clever in its wit as Rabbit, or such Disney animated films as Beauty and the Beast. It's pretty much a buddy movie transplanted to new terrain. Its best pleasures are for the eyes. But what pleasures they are! Watching the film, I felt I was in at the dawn of a new era of movie animation, which draws on the best of cartoons and reality, creating a world somewhere in between, where space not only bends, but snaps, crackles, and pops. And I did like
That's
that
really
comparison to
interesting,
Roger
yeah,
Rabbit, because
because,
that
like,
was a whole brand new world, wasn't it, when that came out?
Well, you think about it, seeing this for the first time back in 1995 was probably the same as watching colour film for the first time or a film with sound. You know, and I hadn't realised that moment till you've just said that. It is a complete shift in what we actually have seen, you know.
I will accept that and say fair enough.
Next week, it's your turn to choose a film. Have you decided what it's going to be?
Yeah, I have. And I am very excited. And I think that you should be excited. Whether you are or not, I don't know. I'm going to pick Rear Window from the 1950s.
Right.
You said last week you like the oldies.
Yeah.
So we'll
black and white one, this, isn't it?
It's not, no. So it's not black and white. It looks like it's been colorized.
It's Hitchcock, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about it. I'm looking forward to watching it again this week, actually, because it's been a while. But yeah.
And if people want more, where can they find you?
I'm at nickybond.com, or you can look for the Lisa McAuliffe stories online. What about you? I
can be found on Toffee's Arrows on YouTube and Phil Timon on TikTok.
Thanks for listening, and until next time, bye-bye.
To infinity and beyond.
Oh my God.